What I'm going to do now is I'm going to connect to my OpenVPN. So my OpenVPN is in my desktop. Then you can just say ls. So nothing is there. Okay, not in my desktop. It's in my downloads. So I'm currently in my download directory. So when I say sudo open VPN, then I have open VPN, then the file name anonymous key. So my initialization I've completed and I can see I've been assigned my VPN IP. So definitely the room we are going to do, just after you click on your lane, then go to search. Then after search, make sure you search for all in one. So this is the room we are going to be doing all in one. So this is the room we are basically going to be doing all in one. So to just show our scanning. So they say you should get the user txt and then the root txt. So this is just more of like you are doing a full penetration testing on an infrastructure. This is just like you are doing an information. You are going to go through the route of information gathering, information gathering. You scan. From scanning, then you can go to from scanning, then you can gain access, then maintaining your access, then documentation. So we're just going to go through this room and for let me start the machine. So I'm starting the machine. All right. So I'm starting the machine. So they will generate the IP address for this machine for me. I'm going to be generated. So let me check. My VPN has been connected. So my VPN has been connected. So let me just wait. So they said give the about 5 minutes to fully reboot. So it's going like so you can see the boss intention is to keep you practice in several ways in exploiting a system. There is a few intended paths to exploit it and few unintended paths to get the root. Try to do not just exploit it using the intended path. Act like a pro and enjoy the bugs. So give it like 5 minutes for fully boot. So we are going to this machine, we're going to get user.txt, then the root.txt. But before we get that, we are going to do some of our the first thing after you've been given an IP address. Like I do normally say, the first thing that should come to your mind is ping. Maybe it is responding to ICMP ping, sorry, ping. Then you paste the IP address or the name. You can see it actually responded, and I can see like TTL63, right? This TTL63 actually shows that this is a Linux machine. This website is actually hosted on a Linux server. It is hosted on the Linux server. So I think 6421 is Windows. So this shows that this is you can see the request one, request two, up to 10, up to 11. So it's responding to ICMP, and you can see the time in which it is responding to each ping request. And this is actually showing that this is a Linux machine. This is a Linux server. So that is the first instance. That is already got. So the next thing we are going to get now is since I know that this is let me just try to paste the IP. Oh, did okay. The first thing is I got this Apache default page. So from this, it shows that okay, yes, even with this, we already know that it is hosted on Ubuntu. The website is Ubuntu and it is using Apache. For us to see this, shows that this is using Apache 2 server but we don't know the version of the Apache. We don't know. So the next thing that I would normally ask, as a penetration tester, I normally tell my students to go to is just check the source code. The developers might actually leave something interesting in the source code. Yes, you might be wondering like, why would they leave? Yes, they might comment out a code which might make it make it easy for us to get. Let's check the source code. For you to check the source code, just click Control U. With Control U, you can have access to the source code. You can see like you can see some comments here. Modify from Debian original Ubuntu last updated. You can see this server was updated last in 2016. It was updated last in 2016. Though that doesn't mean that it's vulnerable. So let's check. Okay, let's check. These are comments. So nothing is there. So I don't think anything is on this source code. Nothing is in this source code. So then the next we are going to go through is let's try to check if there is a robot.txt. Robot.txt. Wow, there is no robot.txt. So there is no robot.txt. Then the next thing we are going to do is now we are going to start with our mmap. But for us to get started with mmap, what is mmap in the first instance? Some of us might be hearing the word mmap for the first time. Some of us might be familiar with the mmap. Some of them might have had mmap. Maybe you went to a conference or you had some of your colleagues saying that, oh, mmap, mmap, mmap. What is mmap? Mmap is actually a scanning tool that helps us to do a port scanning on a server. It actually helps us to do a port scanning on a server. Let's say, for example, if I say man mmap, mmap now to check the manual of mmap, you can see that it says port scanner, network exploration tools and security slash port scanner. So basically, mmap is used for port scanning and it's an open source. It doesn't have a free version. It doesn't have a premium version. Everything is free. So there are many switch in which mmap uses. There are many switch. Let's say for example, if you do a scan, so this is exactly example of what you are going to get. So if you say mmap-84, this is exactly what you are going to get. You are going to get the ports that are available on the system. So basically, on a system, we have over 65,535 ports. Total port number, we have 65,000. You see, we have 65,535 ports, both on UDP and TCP. If you can remember this, and I told you guys when we were doing the networking part that this will come very handy in our previous in our subsequent session, and then we've getting started to be using them now. Said 65,000. So we for us for a computer now to be hosted on a server or for a computer to be active, this port needs to be assigned like to do in a system. Now, the next thing, if we are targeting, if is either if it might be a web server, it might be a mobile server, it might be a web application, it might be a mobile application, even it might be a desktop application, provided that you can access it over the internet and you are conducting your penetration testing on it. So you are conducting your penetration testing on it. Definitely, it is hosted on a particular port. But this port, you can't guess that okay, which port was actually used to open to host this, but you can do that with mmap. Mmap allows us to do okay, which port are available, which services are running on that port, which version of the services is running on that port. You can see the scanning, script scanning, you can see OS detection. So basically, let me start. So basically, you can say sudo mmap, mmap. So what's the IP address? So if we do something like this, it's going to take a long time, but it's going to get scanned. Wow. You can see that it scanned in just 2 seconds, 2 minutes, 2.68 seconds. And you can see that, okay, sudo mmap, then the IP address or the URL. So you can see now that the ports that are available, we have port 21, which is open for FTP. We have port 22, which is open for SSH, and then we have port 80, which is for HTTP. Do you get that? 21 for FTP, file transfer protocol, 22 for secure shell, and then 80 for HTTP. So we have an HTTP services running, and then this is the port, this is the service, but we don't have the version. So for us to know the version or to know the operating system that is actually running on the system, you can say sudo mmap, the IP address, then you can share -o to know the operating system. So it's going to, so at the right hand side, so we can just start. Okay, so at the right hand side we can just say what web to know what will actually help us to analyze. Okay, you can see now that when I specify -o, so it's actually saying that no exact OS, no exact operating system matches for host. Like it's the mmap was unable to get the actual host of this operating system for this host. This is our host. The IP address is our host. So it doesn't find the exact OS that matches your host. Maybe it's bringing different kind of OS. So it's and it took it 23.43, 23 to scan this. So if you actually wants to check the version now, we have this script for SV for version now. So if you click enter, you get the version of the FTP, you get the version for the SSH, you get the version for the HTTP, which is hosted on port 80. So now you can see now that with WhatWeb, saying that okay, it's hosted on Apache. The version of the Apache is 2.4.29, and like I said when we were doing our information gathering, you can Google that okay, Apache 2.4.29, and which we can actually do this with which is we can actually do this with this also. We can actually do this with mmap. You can see the version now, and it took it 36 seconds to complete this scan. And you can see that the FTP, the version of the FTP is VFTPD 3.03, and then for the Open SSH, this is the version, and it is an Ubuntu server. And then for the HTTP, it is Apache HTTPD 2.4.29. If you check the what's web, it is 2.24.9. So it doesn't signify the country. The country was unknown. We said reserved. Then HTTP server is hosted on Ubuntu Linux. Then the IP address, the title, Apache, Ubuntu's default, it works. So those are the information we were able to get for now. So going further, we can simply Google this, or we can use a tool called search. Sorry, okay, let me just search exploits. So you can use this tool called search exploit to say, okay, VST, VSFTPG. So this is actually going to help us to look for any exploit, any available exploit for VFTP. So if we're able to find the version of this, if we specify the version, is not, it won't work. If I say 3.3, 3.0.3, it won't work. Wow, wow, wow. You can see that it worked. It worked. He said you can see that we have a version of this FTP that they are using. It's actually vulnerable to remote denial of service. So we can actually cause denial of service on this very host. We can actually run denial of service to get access. So you can even see the script for it. So definitely you can just go to just search for the exploit, or you can say to know locate 49719.py. So you can see that you have the code here. You can just copy this. So you can just say cp to copy the exploit out. You can just say cp. So cp, so instead of having this cp, then you specify to copy it to home kali, then document, then gdsc bootcamp. So you can see now that so if I go to cd document gd, so if I said ls, you can see now that I have the Python script. So if I said cat to see what is inside this is the exploit available exploit for us. You can see, you can just read through the Python code and then do the necessary things that is being asked. So if you go through that's why I said the knowledge of programming language is very good, but for as a cybersecurity, you need to have knowledge of Python and or Bash. Is either you have knowledge of Python or Bash when it comes to cybersecurity, because they come in handy at subsequent, like as you moving forward, you'll be getting to know that yes, you need to, because if you don't understand programming, this is an exploit available for your targets. An exploit, how can you exploit it if you don't understand the programming aspect of it? So now that is that about that. So there's another version of um OpenSSH. So let me just copy this also. So let me just see if it is also vulnerable. If it is also vulnerable, wow. So it is also vulnerable to username enumeration, to get the username of the SSH, to get the username. So it is only vulnerable to username enumeration. It is only vulnerable. So let's check for the Apache. So you can just copy out the code, look into the content of the code, and see what you can do at. But that is not the route I'm going. So let's check for the Apache. So exploit. So the Apache server is on, there's no exploit on it. But we were able to get the Apache, nothing is hosted on it. Nothing, just is it hosted on another port or something like that. So for your nmap scan again, you can do something like a script scanning. A script scanning, and you can have everything in one single space. So script scanning is sc like this. So we should specify the operating system also -o, then the time for it to complete the scan. So I normally use T5, so it makes it more faster if you use T5. So I said sudo mmap. So this is the basics. Like if you want to do your mmap scan, this scan is okay, but if you are targeting a real, like a trial target or an active box or a machine that is actually vulnerable, before if you are going for a bug bounty, I will advise you to remove the T5, because it might send a request that will turn down the server. But since this is just for practice, they just don't waste our time. T5. So this is going to do The deep scanning is going to look for the version, is going to give us a script scanning, and going to dictate an operating system, and the T5 is going to make it faster. So in a case, there is another switch in which I will show you also. In a case, if your request is live, like your target is live and is not responding to ping request, you can see now that it is now in details. You can see in details. You can see now that port 21 now. So it was the script that shows us all of this. It is the script that shows us all of this. That is why the script scanning is very, very important. So you can see now that on the FTP, it shows that anonymous login is available. You can an anonymous FTP login allowed. So we can actually log in anonymously, but without us specifying that we should do script scanning. It wasn't unable to tell us that there is anonymous login. Then you can see the SSH. You can see some of the SSH short key, but these are not useful for now. You can even see the HTTP header and everything. So now I can just say FTP was the IP address. Let me just go and copy the IP address. If you want to connect to an FTP server, just say FTP, then the IP address, FTP, FTP. So it's asking for the username. Just say, because there's already specified that anonymous login is available, anonymous. So you don't need to specify the password. Just go. Then the login is successful. We were able to log into the we're able to log into the FTP server. But let me just say, okay, directory. Here comes the directory. So cd dot directory. Seems that the FTP is empty. Nothing is in the FTP, but it allows anonymous login. We can actually use it to execute a remote code execution, but that is not the scope for this testing. So let's get out. Let's get out. We get out of the FTP because we couldn't find anything useful, but we shall get that anonymous login is allowed, and we can definitely, if we are actually, it is a real life testing, we can definitely report this as a vulnerability. So the next thing we are going to do now is, so since we've done our mmap assures that the port that is available, FTP, SSH, and HTTP. So we would love to enumerate more on the HTTP. So how can we enumerate more on the HTTP? We can enumerate more on the HTTP by specifying what? By doing a directory brute force. Directory brute force. So you can, there are many tools do that. But in the case of this, I'll be using GoBuster. So GoBuster, if you have not installed GoBuster, just do sudo apt get install GoBuster. So with that, you'll be able to install GoBuster. So already installed GoBuster. So I'm going to specify direct force dash u, which is HTTP, specify the IP address, then the word list. The word list is going to be in our share word list. So it's going to be in our tab. This is the directory. So I want to use common.txt. I want to use this. So it's going to scan for hidden directory. You can see it's specifying some hidden directory. You can see .http access 403 that forbidden for us. The HTTP password is actually forbidden for us. HTTP access is forbidden, but these are the hidden link. So specify the hidden link. It's going to go through all of the website. It's going to crawl to and get the hidden links. The link hidden on the website is going to get everything available for us. So let's wait for the scan to be completed. Basically, I'm just using, you can see that I have index.html and it shows that yes, the status code is 200, yes. So if I go to index.html now, but I guess the index.html is going to give direct me back to, it's going to redirect me back to this home page. You can see the server status also is showing that the server status is showing, we are almost done. So we found another hidden link, which is what? WordPress. WordPress. So WordPress. So let's do that. Let's go through that, which is WordPress. WordPress. Let's see if it's available. If truly it's available. Wow. WordPress. So there is WordPress on this website. Wow. This is the WordPress website. This is the WordPress website. Just another WordPress website. Let's check the sample page. Sample page different from the blog post because only one XYZ. Then let me see login. Oh, we don't have we don't know the username, we don't know the password, but we know that this is a WordPress website. Yes, we know that this is a WordPress website. So what we are going to do now is just to copy this. So after we copy this, what we are going to do now is we are going to use our scan, WP scan, which is we normally use for WordPress scanning. Since we already from our information that we've been doing so far, we already get that this is a WordPress. So I'm going to do dash u dash URL. So I don't want to. So let's do our mmap scan. Do you want to update? Okay, completed. So it's going to do the URL scanning because we already, so it's trying to get all the necessary information about it. So if if the scan has completed, so you can see now that we have the readme file, but since we have a login page, we already have a login page, then we don't know the password. We can do a username enumeration with WordPress. We can do what? Username enumeration. Since we already have the login page, we can do username enumeration with WordPress. So then we can set enumerate you. This will allow us to enumerate users on this website. Okay, dash, it should be you. This will help us to enumerate users, like available users on this system. It's trying to enumerate user on this system, trying to boot first. So you can see now that users identify, it can identify Eliana, right? It can identify Eliana. So let's copy Eliana as the user. Then let's try to log in. Okay, Eliana. Let's try to let's try some default password like admin. You can see that the username is correct. You can see the password you enter for the username Eliana is not correct. So let me try to enter another password like admin, admin, admin. So if this user admin is not available, it will tell unknown username. Check or try use it, but we can see Eliana is available, but we don't know the password for Eliana. So we can simply put force this password for Eliana. So you can see we can't find Eliana. We don't know the password for Eliana. So another thing we can do is we can simply do the um we can simply do the directory boot first. So let me try to use another specify another directory boot first. So I'm not going to use this. We're going to use that buster. Then we're going to use this medium. Then let me specify C 200. Let's go. This is going to take a little bit. You can see it's find WordPress. It's find another hidden link, which is hackathon. Let me just stop this scan. Okay, let me not specify the time t, so that's just going to be it took us a while, but let me just remove the type t. I'm trying to do some directory because the first payload or the word list I use is not that much. So I'm trying to use this payload in this directory, which is under user share word list double star, then directory list 2.3 medium.txt. So this directory, this word list is actually much than the common.txt that I used before. So I am trying to use this. So it is advisable if you are doing a directory boot first, try to be using this this word list because it has more word list more than the previous. It has more word list than so it has more word list than the previous one that we used. So just have to be patient enough. But if you can see above, you can see just have to be patient. Let's cross our leg and see what we can find again or we can get again. Hello, guys. Sorry, I don't know my network was. They've took off the lights, and I don't know that the network has. Are you with me on this call?
Yes, we
Yes,
are.
sir. Yes.
So what was the last thing you guys had?
I think we were at directory brute force using
Okay,
the medium text.
okay,
The text.
using the medium.txt. All right, thank you very much.
Sorry, please. Are you
So
using a room from Hackme?
yes, I'm using a room called All in One. The name
Okay.
of the room is All in One.
Okay.
All in
I
One.
join in
I'll
late, so
share
I'll
the.
be able
I will
to.
share.
Okay, sir.
So it's just the normal process. Were you there when we were discussing a map? Although the call is on recording, so you can catch up the recording later.
I'll do that, sir.
All right. So I will
Thank you, sir.
persuade our facilitator to just upload this very video on time with the rest so that you guys can catch it up. So with my directory using the medium.txt, although it was my network that made it to be that I'm getting this error. So let me just redo that. So this is the
Your video is not up.
medium.txt.
The video
My
is not up.
videos is now up.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I've not shared my screen. Is it up now?
Yes. Yes, please.
All right, thank you. So Gobostar, so this is the medium.txt. You can see the directory here. So you just go to share, specify that dash w for word list, share, user share, word list, double star, then directory. So if I hit enter, so if I want to make it faster, I just say T. If your network is good, you can just say T1000 or so I just love to use T200. So let's check it out. Yeah, I've already found the WordPress initially before, so just trigger WordPress again. It is my network that is making it to get. You can see I have the hackathons. So let me just go through the hackathons. Yes, let me just terminate it and go through the hackathon. So this is the hackathon. Damn, how much I hate the smell of vinegar. So let me just anything that you see that you don't understand when you are trying to enumerate a server or anything, just try to Google. I don't know the meaning of this. So as a beginner, I don't know. But me, as I see vinegar, I already know where it's going to. So vinegar is a cryptography techniques. So but as a beginner, you don't know. Just copy vinegar, then try to paste it, Google search to know the meaning. So you can see formerly also called SQL solution. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay. Can just see since you already know that you are doing cybersecurity, so just says mega cyber security. Yeah, just so you are not getting anything. But I already I know that vinegar is a cryptography. So let's try to check the source code. There will be something in the source code. So damn how much I hate the smell of vinegar. So you can see something like this. You can see this text. It looks like something, but I don't know the meaning. It looks weird to me, and I see keep going. So these two things look suspicious to me. So let me just copy this. Let me copy this. Then there is a website. If you see something saying like this, definitely when you are doing when you are doing your testing, if you find something, any letters that you don't understand that it is just more of like a cipher text, just know that it's a cryptography. Then I have a powerful website, yeah, which is decode.fr, decode fr this website, then cipher identifier. So if you go to the website, you'll be able to see you'll be able to identify which type of cipher is this. With this website you'll be able to identify if it is base 64. The website will tell you that this is a base 64. If it is not base 64, it will. So I already have it analyzed before, so let me just paste it, then analyze. It's going to give you the possible ways possible. So you said keyboard shift cipher, root cipher, scissor cipher, monoalphabetic. So if you go through that, if you go down, you can see vigenere, right? Don't know how that you can pronounce that more than that. Just so, and it looks like vinegar that we have here. It looks like they just try to decode, like to just craft the word for us. So if you go through this cipher, so you go through the cipher, paste the cipher, then this is requesting for password. It's requesting for password, right? It's requesting for password. So you can say keep, and the password is keep going, right? Keep going. So let's try to decrypt it. So it said sorry, error. So if you get something like this with decode.fr, because it's usually misbehaved, there's another website called cyberchef. Cyberchef. Just Google cyberchef. Cyberchef, you should see the website here. So this is the website. So from this website, so what I do if I'm actually doing a testing and it involves cryptography, I will analyze with decode.fr like I did there. I will analyze with decode.fr. Then I'll go to cyberchef, code it properly. So them just look for, so you can see the v generate the code. So let me just paste it here. So it's asking for key, and then if you check below the source code, you can see that keep going. So it seems that that's definitely going to be key. Keep, okay, keep going. Why? Okay, keep going. You can see that this looks like a password. Try Hackme. So this might be a pass. This might be the password to our WordPress that we got initially. Let me go back to WordPress. WordPress. Then wp login.php to get the admin panel. So we have this. So let's try to paste the password. You can see the password. Try Hackme. Let's log in. It's showing incorrect password, but let me paste the password again. Let me show. Okay, let me try to remove this try. Boom. That was the password. You can see the password of the admin was actually saved in one of the directory, and we were able to get the directory by brute forcing the directory. So there are many hidden links in every website also like this. There are many hidden links in every website. So you need to look for possible hidden link as much as you can, because they leave so many loopholes. Developers, they leave, okay, they might be working, okay, this directory. They might even forget that they leave something there. Maybe it is doing their production. They were like, okay, they want to share something. Okay, let's just be using this directory to dump all our necessary files. But at the times of production, like when they when at the times where they want to launch the system, they might forget that they have that directory. So it actually help us to get many loopholes as much as we can. So the more you can, that's why I said information gathering is very, very powerful. The more you can gather information, the more you can get access to the system. And now we already have access to the admin dashboard. You can see admin dashboard of the WordPress. You can see we already have admin dashboard. You can see this is the dashboard. So from here we can do anything. We can edit profile, we can change the password of the admin since we already know the admin, we can change the password, we can do so many things. We can do so many things. We are going to do so many things, but this is just more of like we are not getting the user.txt for now because we've not do privilege escalation on Linux, we've not do some exploitation. So we're going to stop here for today. Then by Monday, yes. So we are getting started fully with web overview because this training is focusing on web penetration testing. So we are going to get started with web. We are going to do SQL injection, XML injection, server side injection, template injection. We are going to do XSS cross-site scripting, which is cross-site scripting. We are going to do server-side request forgery. We are going to do as much as we can starting from Monday, and we are getting started fully on Monday. So on Monday, we're going to do the web overview. Like I was mentioning in our previous session, like okay, HTTP header. So what are header? What are the usefulness of header? Header. What are the requests? Okay, the get request, the post request, the put, the delete request. Okay, what is status code? What does 100 mean? 200, 300. We've been seeing 403 forbidden. We've been seeing 404 not found. We've been seeing 401. We've been seeing 301 redirection, 300. So what does those things mean? By Monday, we're getting started with web. So if you have any question, so I'm going to share this room. Just do your enumeration like I did, and it's not necessary for you to get the user.txt. It's not necessary for you to get the user.txt. We are still going to you still get to know how to get the user.txt. But for now, just make sure you log in. You still follow my route to get access to log into the WordPress as the admin. So I'm going to share this to the WhatsApp group, and if you have any question, so you can definitely drop the question. I'm open for question.